Viewers, welcome back to the show, Dean and Junior, and our topic is matrimony. So we've been discussing about some foundations that we need to get right. So now let's say they've made the choice and they're in the marriage. So like we said, conflicts or quarrels are inevitable. So, but nowadays, if there are issues, people will not bring the husband and the wife together, scold them, advise them, and then maybe any of them that is at fault can now accept and admit that they're at fault. And they do not scold the husband in front of the wife, I don't know why. And then for the wife, they always tell her to just be quiet and be patient and go and stay. You know, that's how marriage is. And they do not provide solution. But looking back, even at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, time of the Sahaba, the pious predecessors, they were standing up for women. Like Khawla bint Tha'laba, when she came with a woman to Amir al-Mu'minin, and she was like, her husband wanted to leave her without any reason. And Umar radiallahu anhu went and met the husband and was telling him, we give you these women, they will feed you, they will take care of your children, all at the expense of their health and their youthfulness. And then later on, the husband would just say, I don't love her anymore. So this thing about love is not always enough. How do we balance this love disappearing and how to stay married?
Well, the question you've asked is very essential. Let me look at it this way. One of such is what we feel when we newly get married may not necessarily be what we feel down the line. We must understand that we change. There is growth. There are changes in our environment. There are changes in our status. When the couples marry, if they are marrying for the first time, there is no child involved. And when children start coming, there are demands from the children of the mother. And there are expanded responsibilities of the father in taking care of the wife and taking care of the children, paying the bills and settling the fees. Because of these changes in life demand for survival and existence, our attitudes to one another and our attention to details may change. And for example, husband and wife, they used to spend a long time together, gisting, talking about things, discussing about life. But now that everybody is busy now, the husband does the kind of job that makes him travel a lot. He's always having one deadline or the other to meet up with. The wife also, perhaps she has taken up a job. And coupled with that job, she has to take care of the home, take care of the children, take care of herself. Maybe she also has extended families. They are looking forward to her to take care of them. She may have aged parents too. As we move along, things change. And we'd like people to embrace these changes, not to look at it as if something bad, something terrible has happened. Yes, we should understand that this is part of life, and we find ways of adapting to these changes. Not to lose sight of the things we used to do together, but to find ways of, one, understanding that these things may not be exactly how it used to be, and also understanding that we can always find our ways around it. A man that travels a lot, for instance, there is technology now. You can Skype with your wife, you can have video call, you can discuss, you can chat all day. I know some men, even when they are in the midst of some meetings, they'll still hide their hands under the desk and chat their wives. Hello, honey, how are you doing? We're in the meeting, this stuff. They'll be given some kind of back and forth conversation once in a while. That is very, very nice. But we shouldn't look at it like betrayal. Oh, when we newly married, then you have some nostalgia. You say, yes, this person has changed. She's not like she used to be. She used to this and that and that. A woman used to take very good care of herself, but now look at children. Look at, sometimes children will have to urinate on her body before she will get up to clean the baby, cook for the house. You see, she has only one life, and she is doing the job of somebody with 9 lives. So we want people to understand these differences. And when problems come, in my own opinion, I normally give this theory that the first 5 years will have its own challenges, to the extent that the couples will have not less than 2 occasions when they will wish to divorce each other. I always say this, minimum of 2 occasions. Something will happen and you'll be like, look, I don't want you again. Then the second 5 years, 6 to 10 years, the couples may likely face certain situations that they will even regret marrying each other. They'll be like, who did this to me? What was I even thinking when I married this person?
Okay.
If you are having such feelings, it is normal. It doesn't mean you should divorce. It is just that you are trying to adjust to the whole thing. Before a couple can be really settled down, it's 10 years. 10 good years.
Now that you're talking about things could change,
yes,
I came across this neuroplasticity research, and they were saying the human being's brain is likely to continue growing until at least the age of 25.
Yes.
So another thing is personality. So you cannot correlate a person's personality within the age of maybe 20 to 25 with that same person's personality at the age of 50. Or you can correlate a person's personality at the age of 30 with their personality at the age of 50. So oftentimes when they ask young couples, for example, why their marriage is not working, or why they wanted a divorce, or why they broke up, they normally say they grew apart. So they were saying most likely if maybe you grew a bit older and then you got married, maybe your personality might not change. Because I heard people saying, if I have gotten married earlier, it would have been a mess. Some people would say,
I know better now.
Yeah, or my
I married
husband,
late.
we don't have anything in common now. So how practical do you think this research is?
It's quite theoretical, actually. I don't want to say practical, because in my own opinion, I prefer early marriages for those who can afford it, who have found who they want, because I love it that people should grow together. Yes, you see, statistically, it's not as if those who married earlier, they divorce more than those who marry late. So if we don't have that proof, we may not be able to establish that, okay, older people, when they get married, they tend to stay longer than younger people when they get married. Sometimes it doesn't really follow.
Another problem I've noticed is in the course of that relation, sometimes what grew couples apart is the interest to take in a second wife. And then it becomes a major problem, yes. And then another thing is, we women, as women, there's a kind of lifespan with us, you know, with time it's either our body changes or our figure or how we relate and all that. And those men are always eager to see, you understand, they like the popular saying, the beautiful ones are yet to be born, because they're actually beautiful, incredible girls being giving birth to, growing, you see them, mashallah, you understand that? So then sometimes it's not as if your husband does not love you, but on so many occasions it's just that they just want to add it because you think you're doing enough, you're doing a lot, but
now
at the same time they see some,
yes,
the merit, you understand? I personally, but I like it if you don't lie to me. I told even from our courtship, my husband told me that if it warrants him to marry another wife, eventually he's going to do it. So Habiba, I have that in mind already. So anytime it comes the later future, but sometimes men lie too much to the extent that I'll never look at another woman. You know that you are lying, because the main primal instinct, you know, the African, it's not just about African men being polygamous in nature. Islamically, it has warranted us to do it, but sometimes we also hide under the approach saying that, okay, we're permitted to marry more than one. Even the one wife, they said, marry if you can afford to take care of her. So why that notion where you would lie to yourself or lie to your wife, then later on it becomes a problem, it causing huge disparities, another thing. Then another thing with our youth, secondly, is most of the time we spend our time planning the wedding, not the marriages. In preparing to settle down, we just think, oh, the wedding, and then the social media people, wedding of the year, wedding of the century, forget that. Then we get married, we inside everybody's true nature comes out, then it becomes impossible to coexist together.
Let me tell you something about the polygamy you mentioned, though I didn't know we were going to go there, but let me quickly mention this for you to hear. It's a provision in Sharia. It's not a must that people should go into polygamy. Polygamy requires a lot of management. A man that has not been able to manage himself, talk less of manage a family, now trying to take another wife, he needs a lot of schooling, a lot of education. I want to propose that anybody who is willing to do that or not willing to do that even, you should be educated well and properly enough about what it takes to do that. It's not just a fun fair thing. It's not just, yes, I want to If you say beautiful ones are yet to be born, handsome ones are yet to be born too. And people only have to be loyal, they have to fear Allah. People have to keep away from infidelity. Can't say because you have been allowed or permitted to marry another wife, then you begin tasting women here and there and say, after all, I can marry another. No, it's not like that. It's not the kid stuff. It's not something you handle with levity. It involves a lot of emotions, it involves a lot of commitment, a lot of loyalty, a lot of self-management, a lot of discipline, and a whole lot of wisdom. Many people who go into it now at younger age, they seem to lack the wisdom and experience to go into this. So the whole thing backfires and it becomes something else. So I want to propose that people should really be educated about this before they go into it.
Dear viewers, it's still the show Dean and Junior, and the topic is matrimony. Now I would like Ustaz to give us one advice on how to handle matrimony.
Yes, very, very importantly, I want you to understand that life is very dynamic. The person that you can love the most is Almighty Allah. See marriage as service, as ibadah to Almighty Allah and service to the other person. Once the husband sees the wife as somebody to whom he can render service and Allah will be pleased with him, you see he will do that with some kind of joy because he knows he is doing it for the sake of Allah. If it's the other way around too, it also matters. And love and mercy, these two things. Without love, there cannot be mercy. Without mercy, there can be love. And these two, Allah commands them, and we must learn how to show love. We must learn how to show mercy. If we can take care of this, matrimony is going to be very, very sweet as it is.
This is a lovely advice, and I think one of the most important decisions of your life is choosing a life partner, the other parent to your children. So I like to say that, well, we know that attraction and other things are important, but to that attraction and loving heart, add to it an informed and thoughtful mind, because they say, if love is blind, marriage is an eye-opener. Thank you very much, Ustaz Makaram. Jazakumullah khair. So inshallah, we'll continue bringing different issues in our next episode. And stay tuned with us, and inshallah, you're going to learn a lot of things. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.